in as a head coach. We're set for the opening face-off in College Park. It'll be Justin Shockey in there for the Terrapins, tied a career-high 18 face-off wins last time out against Rutgers. But it's Penn State that comes away with the opening face-off win. An errant pass goes out, and it will go back to the Terrapins, who will have the opening possession of the game.
Talked in the open about needing to play error-free ball, but right off the bat, an early mistake from Penn State. Looked like they were going to have the first possession, but instead it's the Terps who will have the chance to clear. Clearing will be another thing to watch in this game. Maryland clearing at about 87%, and they're going to need to be very efficient today.
As we take a look at the starting lineups for Maryland. Here's Dylan Foltz, looking to work on the right side. Penn State goes behind the cage now. O'Keefe has a shot blocked at the top. And Penn State will get his back underway from the near side with TJ Malone. Now behind the cage, Penn State has the opener. Coming across the front and putting this season. It goes to show in their record of just 2-4 on the year. Here's Fairman now on the left hand, and that flashes wide again. Terps are certainly sniffing, but just a couple inches either side of the goal. Here's Fairman. Into the middle. There's the shot, and there's the finish. Logan Wisnauskas ties it up at 1. And now just a point away from a career 200.
Well, we talk about good positional awareness. That is exactly what Logan Wisnauskas had right there. And give a little bit of credit.
Cross for the Terps. They will hold and get their offensive line on. Kyle Long into the action. Accelerating down the left. Feeds into the middle. Trying to find Daniel Maltz. Here's Bernhardt. Back up top. Quick movement by the Terps. A whistle came before the goal. But they're going to say it stands, and the Terps have the lead. Logan Wisnauskas, his second of the day.
Well, if you can let Logan Wisnauskas get onto his left hand, he's going to hurt you in a big way. Just that one step towards the middle. It's excellent positioning to allow that step.
Such a crucial member of Maryland's offense over the years. But it's Penn State looking to get on the offensive side of things and trying to level this one up at 2. Finding that early goal. And there it is, right on cue from TJ Malone. He lets loose, and Penn State knots it up at 2.
Well, a perfect response for Penn State, exactly what you want after back-to-back goals from the Terps. TJ Malone just finding a bit of a weak spot in the Maryland defense and unloading on a shot. An excellent delivery as well from Sickler to find.
DeMeo looking to accelerate inside, comes back up top. Now Fairman. Fairman to the left, now behind the cage. That's Bernhardt in front. Fairman keeps it himself and buries it to give the Terps the lead again. Bubba Fairman, his 6th goal of the season, and he puts the Terps back on top.
Well, Bubba Fairman not on the score sheet as much this year, and you can almost forget the firepower that he possesses offensively. Does all the little things right for the Terps, but still can score on his own when he's
swung its way back to the Terrapins. Here's Sickler. There's a shot. Either hit the post or McNaney's stick, but nonetheless it stays out.
I think McNaney got a big piece of that one, Brendan. He's been pretty locked in today.
Up to 5 saves already. Sophomore out of New York. Here's Griffin Brown, transfer from Colgate, where he was 2-time All-Patriot League second team. He winds up and has one. And he puts the Terps up by 2. Griffin Brown. A laser effort from the top. And
usually you see him up top. Now he's more in those scoring areas.
DeMeo spinning on the near side. Passes off to Bernhardt. Bernhardt Around the front, and he tucks it in. Jared Bernhardt ties the all-time goal record for the Maryland Terrapins. Level with Matt Rambo for 155 and a goal away from history.
Well, how fitting that it's off of this type of goal. How many times have we seen this move from Jared Bernhardt in a Maryland uniform, coming across goal line extended, back onto...
Things back up for the Terrapins. There's Bernhardt. Passes off, back to Bernhardt. Now Brown. Trying to evade his long pole defender. Terps will cycle it behind the cage for Maltz. Feeds all the way across. A low shot, and it's tucked in. A bullet from the far side from Daniel Maltz. He has his first of the day, and the Terps continue to push their advantage 6-2.
Well, not all that often you see Daniel Maltz shoot from that distance. Usually he's the ones in the nitty-gritty area, right in the congested part of the slot, but this time comes a little bit further out and shows off a rocket of his own.
It's a possession for Penn State to try to find their first goal in quite a while now. Folds, spinning on the near side, back up top to Reynolds. Here's O'Keefe. Kept quiet so far. And there's another one for Penn State. They finally find one. And it's Mark Sickler.
Well, you talk about the impact that Mac O'Keefe can have even without the ball. He draws some more attention, and Sickler is able to find his way into a little bit of space. Two defenders on him, trying to close down him on it.
Folds. And it's a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on the Maryland team, so an extra man opportunity coming up for Penn State. A very good chance for them to gain some momentum. And there it is! Right on cue, it's Jack Kelly. He brings this game within 2 on the extra man opportunity for Penn State.
Well, what are EMOs all about, Brendan? Finding the open space, because there's going to be some in an extra man opportunity.
A run of at least 6 goals in every game they've played in 2021, including an 11-goal run against Hopkins back in the rivalry College Park a couple weeks ago. Terps content. Letting some time run, and there's the hat trick. Logan Wisnauskas has 3 on the day, and he finds the response for the Terrapins to put him back up by a triple.
Well, certainly great to see fans enjoying that one from Logan Wisnauskas, and once again, he's just able to get onto that left hand.
Terps will look to clear and continue to push that advantage before the halftime break.
Yeah, this is a 3 minutes that can really change the way that this game looks heading into the locker room. Obviously, Maryland with a 3-goal lead right now, a goal or 2 on either side of it would change things.
It's up top for Fairman as he will back this one out.
The halftime talk, down 1 or 2 versus down 4 or 5, is a very different one.
There's Kyle Long looking to come through, and he buries it. Kyle Long puts the Terps up by 4. He found the chance. Bernhardt has it on the far side. Dodges back around, and he tucks it in. History made for Jared Bernhardt, the all-time leading goal scorer in Maryland lacrosse history. 156 as he passes Matt Rambo. Break open the history books and pencil him in at the top. A true legend in College Park, Jared Bernhardt on his senior day, and that goal means oh so much.
Well, it's a goal fitting of any occasion, Brendan. A wonderful first step to completely wrong foot his defender, that patented swim move, and that fade away.
We talked about that stat. They've put together at least one 6+ goal run in every game of the season. This one will go all the way back into Penn State territory. Here's the shot and the goal. All the way down the other end, another for Jared Bernhardt. He makes history. Why not pad the stats a little? 157 on the career. And it's a hat trick in the first half for the number one.
Well, right up against the buzzer as well. That will take us into halftime. Jared Bernhardt, it falls really kindly to him off of Penn State's 11th turnover on the game. And he makes no miss for John Tillman's squad. Somebody isn't getting the job done necessarily on one particular day. Someone who hasn't gotten a whole lot of action. Luke Weirman stepping up right into a big moment and making it count.
Fairman passes off to DeMeo, absorbs some contact on the stick. Now Bernhardt, the man of the hour. Coming around, feeds it over for Maltz, who fires. We saw him put one in from a similar position on the other side of the field in the first half. Not quite the same result, but the Terps pick things back up. Fairman over to DeMeo. He looks to come inside, tried to pass it across the mouth of goal. Trying to find Wisnauskas, and he will keep that one in. Kyle Long scoops it up. A persistent first possession for the Terrapins. Pass, Fairman buries it through the 5-hole, and he has his second goal of the season for Anthony DeMeo.
And it's worth recognizing that today was senior day for Maryland, and Bubba Fairman, a junior, is going to be such an important piece of this Maryland offense moving forward. You're getting a bit of a look at perhaps the future.
Delayed penalties coming up, and Maltz puts it in. The goal stands, and Maryland continues the onslaught against Penn State. They're up 12-4. And Maltz has his second of the afternoon.
Well, speaking of the future, Daniel Maltz is going to be one of the guys in the next few years for the Maryland Terrapins if they are going to continue to have success into 2022 and beyond. Just the sophomore, but we've already seen a couple times the job that Justin Shockey and the rest of the face-off crew has done as well. How do you get on runs? You win possessions, and you win them in spurts. So that's a combination of just about every facet of this team. It's one of the more complete teams in all of college lacrosse, and that stat really shows it off there. Also shows how balanced this Maryland attack is. Defending teams, should I say, can't really key in on one guy.
There's Mallory on the far side. Goes up, and Bernhardt puts another in. Keep them coming, Jared Bernhardt. Once he starts
across in Mac O'Keefe, you're certainly never out of a ball game, but going to need to come up with some answers quickly.
Jake Morin's shot bounces wide. Be scooped up by Reynolds in the near side corner. So he gets things back underway. Rayum spinning at the top. Passes behind the cage for Reynolds. He fires, and that one finds the back of the net. A goal to stop the bleeding from Jackson Reynolds, the sophomore. Maryland had scored 7 straight goals, and Reynolds finally finding something to put Penn State back on the board.
Well, he failed to score against Johns Hopkins last time out, so you knew he would be really hungry, Jackson Reynolds, to come back in the Big Ten in that position, only 200, 20%.
Here's O'Keefe, who's sails another shot over the goal.
So saying only 20% this season on the extra man opportunity, but got a couple of decent looks there.
Teams are back to even strength. Just to clarify, that was on John Geppert. Like we said, he was the Terrapin in and around that penalty area. And finally, O'Keefe buries one. He goes top shelf to find his first of the day. A stinging effort from Mac O'Keefe as he continues to inch his way towards that NCAA goal record.
Well, and that time Nick Grill had backed off of him and was going to cover a different Penn State Nittany Lion, and Matt Rahill tried to close on him.
Maryland, as Penn State is back on the offensive. Here's Reynolds passing off to O'Keefe as Penn State looks to cycle it around. Around the front and forced back out towards the near side is Jack Traynor. He picked up the assist on that Mac O'Keefe goal. Malone muscles his way around. Now Reynolds at the top, looking to spin and throw some contact there. And that one, McNaney didn't know much about it as Penn State finds the net. It's Mac O'Keefe again. The ice has been broken for O'Keefe. He has 2 goals on the day. They get 208 on the career for the big man.
It just kind of pops into no man's land. Do so well.
Kyle Long on the left. Passes off to Bernhardt. He'll take things up top to Fairman. Towards the far side now for DeMeo. Kyle Long behind the cage now. Trying to find a target. Maltz has it, and they'll bring things back towards the near side for Bernhardt. Bernhardt looking to muscle his way towards an advantageous area. And he has another. Jared Bernhardt, 5 goals on the day. An incredible performance for an incredible player in Maryland history.
Well, it's the same move, but it's a flip. That's a much better exhibit of what Maryland's been trying to do defensively, pushing everything out to the wings, not letting anything in that slot area where Penn State's been hurting Maryland all day, but a turnover will hurt the Terps there.
Here's Malone, a feed to the far side, and burying it in the middle is O'Keefe again. A third quarter hat trick for Mac O'Keefe. And he continues to climb that chart in NCAA scoring.
That will certainly endear him to the Penn State fans in attendance. And you know, there's a lot of players that you wouldn't want one-on-one with a goal.
Talked about last time out against Rutgers being his first multi-goal game of the season. He has a second here today.
That's just another added dimension to this Maryland offense if he can produce like that day in and day out.
Here's DeMeo.
Already such a balanced attack.
Wisnauskas in the left channel. Now Kyle Long. Feeds across, and on the doorstep is Daniel Maltz. He completes his hat trick on the day, and the Terps are up to 15. And the Maryland faithful back in Capital One Field at Maryland Stadium, loving that finish.
Well, we've seen Daniel Maltz score a couple from long distance, but that's the kind of shot makes it really difficult for McNaney to be able to pick up, but he squares his shoulders well. That ball pretty central to him, and he was able to scoop it up.
Terps cleared through Alex Smith. Now here's Jared Bernhardt. Darting around to the near side. He'll change directions and spin back to the other. Feeds across for Wisnauskas, who takes it off the turf and rifles it into the back of the net. How about that from Logan Wisnauskas? Adjusted well and sent a laser into the netting. Wisnauskas has 4 on the day, and the Terps are up to 16 on the afternoon.
Well, that's what I mean when I talk about the multiple dimensions that Maryland has offensively. You see situations learn to protect leads as well before their next game in Ann Arbor.
Brown speeding around towards the far side. Now Maliver passes off to Bernhardt. He's over to the front. And a goal! Jack Corris getting in on the action. His 3rd goal of the season, the freshman from Lutherville. 17-8 is the Maryland lead, and with 5:42 left to play, this one's slipping away from Penn State.
Talked a little bit of a time ago about the future of the Maryland attack. Talked about Daniel Maltz himself. He is now 2nd all-time in Penn State in points. Such a prolific goal scorer. Can get it done with the assist as well.
Here's Trainer. Going to come around the near side, and that hits the uprights. Fired off right where that pipe and crossbar come together. And the Lions are still knocking on the door. Trainer again. If at first you don't succeed, try once more. Jack Trainer, the junior out of Downingtown, Pennsylvania.
Big moment for Jack Trainer, to be sure, getting his 3rd goal of the entire season. Comes late in this one, but when I talk about the things that you can build on for the future, this is certainly one. Colin Miller, the redshirt junior, who is into the game now.
John Tillman just using this as an opportunity to get some guys some minutes as the regular season winds down. Under a minute to play in College Park. There's Dylan Foltz. And another one for the Nittany Lions. Matt Costin, the freshman from Haverford, Pennsylvania, and transfer from Utah, comes up to put Penn State into double digits.
And a nice assist there for Dylan Foltz. Getting it over to Matt Foltz, was able to do so this year and pick up an assist on that occasion.
"20 seconds left in this contest. Penn State has played a much better second half. As there's a shot that flies over top from Mac O'Keefe. Here's Malone. Inside at the doorstep and broken up by Maryland. Scooped up. And that's how this one ends. Another great performance by the Maryland Terrapins as they go to 7-0 on the season for the first time since 2014. That season ended up in a Final Four weekend appearance